So welcome back to Exehaven Harbour, and I've made a start on building these set of steps because I think I'm going to use them at the station. It depends how they go. So as you can see, I'm quite the way through the build. Fantastic little kit, again a laser cut kit from DM Toys. I'm just putting the stair treads in really. And after that, we have got all the balustrades, and I've painted them in Southern Region green. So just to give it that look, and yeah, it's a lovely little kit to build. It all goes together really nicely. So I've got a couple of bits of glue there, so I'm just going to get on and do the next step. Wonder if I can do this while I've got the camera running. Let's just turn that round like that, lift that in there like that, and there we go. There's another one in there, and that's all there is to it, really. It's quite easy. I thought it was going to be really fiddly, but it's not too bad actually. I'm not sure that one's quite in there right, but there we go. But yeah, so I'll come back to you a bit later on. We may have moved on to something else, but I'll show you when it's finished. So, at last we get the station put in sort of position on the layout. I've spent a little while fiddling. Now, at this stage, I'm scratching my head a little bit. Mainly because I'm now figuring out how the road's going to come in, if I'm going to have a road here, or the road sort of comes to here and we have a bus kind of parking, taxis and limited car parking. Not that there would be massive loads of car parking at a harbour station, I wouldn't have thought. This height here equates to 30 feet. Now, I think the station will stay at this height, because initially I'd planned it to be a little bit further forward and have some stairs coming down from the platform. Not many stairs, like 5 or 6 stairs coming down, but that sort of doesn't leave me much room for harbour side. So you've got to kind of imagine that this piece here won't be here. That will be cut off to size. It's only sitting on a bit of wood for the time being, just because that's what it was held on, and it actually makes the perfect height in the end. So I'll probably cut that off to size as well. The road that either will come in, that I may allow, there may be some room for buses and that to pull up at the front and have a turn round and come back, bearing in mind it is N gauge. So here's a bus, and this station is absolutely massive. It is huge, because that bus is a 1148 scale and the station is 160. There's a person, so it is pretty big. I mean, these doors are huge. I've even gone back and checked the books, make sure it isn't 00 or HO, and but it is it's right size. It's just huge. So I think I can have enough room up here for the bus to turn round and come back on itself, and still have plenty of room down here. I'm going to have to do something with the road. The road's going to go up and over. I haven't worked out. This is going to all be Exehaven town here, you know, and it will spread right out over there and over here. But I haven't worked out the roads and how they're going to fit in with Exehaven Central Station, which would be down here. So it's really quite complicated in terms of what I'm thinking about, and I'm going to need a little while to think it really through. I mean, I've thought things through only from thinking, oh yes, the station to go there, the steps are dropped down, that gives it a little bit lower. Then we could fix in the steps that will bring us down a bit lower, which I probably still can do, but it's just complicated, and I will work it out. There's no doubt about it, and there is room. It's just hard to visualise at the moment because we've got all of that there. We've got that wood there, which makes it look as if it's coming right out here, but it won't. So it's a work in progress, but it does look pretty good. Even in this bare state, the station does look good there. Obviously the platforms will be made up into platforms. I've put the tracks in just to make sure that I've got the right distance. There is room for another track at the back, but I'm not sure that I've got enough room in the throat of the station to get another track in there with the current plan. But that does give me room to put either like some sort of retaining wall or a building that will run, like a building flat that will run right along the back there. So well, you know, it's another thing. And I'm also thinking of putting a building of some sort there. I'm actually thinking about the Scalsines Hotel, which is like a building flat as such. But that's got to fit in then with the arch, which I'm going to build probably shortly after this, actually, or start building, and we'll take it from there. I think it's there's so much to think about, but I'm pleased that I've got the station in place now so that I can actually start visualizing what's what. So that's where we're at, and I'll come back to you in a while, but the next bit may very well be building the overall roof. Okay, one other thing, just before I go indoors, I've got this loading crane to build, so I may very well do that as well, so that I then know how much room I've got on dockside, because I don't know whether I'm going to use that on this side or over here, which is like the main sort of freight kind of side of the harbour. But there was always cranes loading up the big liners and things like that. I've got another kit here, which is a brass kit. I've never done a brass kit before. I know Stephen has, and I bought this some time ago, and I'm going to attempt to have a go at that as well, maybe, just because I want it really more for size, so it'd be interesting to see how that works out. And I've got myself a metal bender, or a brass kit bender, so yeah, we'll see how this all goes. Right, so I've been having a little, as you do, a little think about the backdrop to the station, or the back scene. Now, I know this won't be the final what we're doing, but it's to give you some idea what's in my mind. I've got some beautiful pictures of ships that I've downloaded, and I've actually printed this one off. And I think obviously the colour of the sky in the picture doesn't match the blue that I've got, but I can cut that all out really, but I've done that kind of for speed. And these warehouse sort of fronts, these Scalsines warehouse fronts, won't be what's going in there, because I want to give the impression that the station is obviously slightly raised, so I'd either have to cut them off at the doors, which I don't really want to do, or I'll sort of scratch build a big warehouse at the back there that would look like it's appearing above, and there'd be a wall at the back there, and it would give the impression that there was a gap down there, or a road or whatever. But I just wondered, I mean, it looks a little bit naff as it is, but the idea is to give the impression that the harbour is bigger and on the other side there. And actually, the more I look at this, if I cut that blue out, or the blue of the picture, that may work. That may actually work. Just the top of a ship parked up at another dockside could be could be okay. But what I'm going to do with this back scene, I'm not quite sure in terms of the buildings, but it will be probably a warehouse, and it will probably almost be flat against the back so that you've got the impression of a gap. So we'll see. I'll give that some more thought, but it was just something that come up and something that I'd done in about 10 minutes. I printed it off, the picture of the ship, cut it out, come in the cabin, put the warehouses there, and it kind of does create a scene, really, I guess. But a little bit more work on it, and I think I might be onto something. But tell me what you think in the comments below, and you know, I'm quite happy if you say it's naff and doesn't look right, but I think with a fair bit of tweaking we can get somewhere with that. And like I say, this is just like almost like the first edit if you want. So yeah. Right, so here we are. I'm going to make a start on the overall roof, overall canopy. And I've just got all the bits and pieces out of the bags. So it does come with platforms, but I won't be needing those. I'll keep those for another project another time. I believe these are Kestrel platforms that have come with the kit. So I may actually make good use of them at some point somewhere. So there's quite a few pieces to this kit. It looks like it's mainly all there. I hope it is. And I shall come to you as I finish varying bits of it. So yeah, a little project on a very windy, kind of showery day. Well, that was the first bit of this is a faff, and I've got 10 to do. So basically it might be easier to show you on the instructions, but we've got to, there's some pieces that go underneath the arch of the overall roof. So I've got 5 of these to do. Well, actually there's more than that, but there's another different part for the other couple of arches. But these are the pieces that you have to bend round to get under the arch. So I've done one, and I'm not sure, it's a bit difficult to, oh, there you go. So that goes round there, and honestly that has been a real pain because it just wants to keep flicking away all the time as you go round. What I do is just put a dab of glue to start with, get that stuck, and then just work my way round bit by bit. And that's taken me probably, I know it's the first one, it's probably taken me about 10 minutes. I'm hoping we're going to get that timing down as we go. And I might not be doing all of these all at once. Right, okay, so we've moved on a little bit. I've now got these inner pieces of the arches in place, which was pretty tricky, fiddly more than anything. And what else comes along is this piece that the canopy sit in to help you fit everything together, which makes it sort of straight. I don't know whether you can call it square on a kit like this. And so yesterday I've spent most of the afternoon cutting these strips out. There were 16 of them, which are these cross members that go right across. They all fitted pretty well perfectly. Some of the end pieces were a little bit awkward because where you cut them, that was quite a thick hold in its sprue. So I had to file some of them down just so that they would fit. I'm now just test fitting the glass roof. Nothing's glued yet, but I just thought I'd, well, as I have with most of this, actually, I've test fitted everything before I've actually glued it. So they're looking good there. But it is a really lovely kit. I wouldn't call it a beginner's kit just because it is so fiddly. But if you are a beginner, you can do it. But just take your time. It's as perfect as I can get it. Oh, by the way, the other thing that I've done, the feet here, I just painted them in a different colour. I painted them like a grey, which would be similar to the platform that it will sit on. I haven't painted anything else. I don't think it actually really needs it. But they looked a little bit too wooden, if you know what I mean. So that's what I've done with that. But yeah, the frame, this frame stuff that it sits in is very handy for building it. I think it would be even more fiddly without that. I've secured it down to the cutting mat, which has made it even better. And that's where I'm at with that at the moment. So yeah, it's coming on pretty well. Right, so this is the first time I've been doing this for a while. We've actually got 4 trains running on the layout all at once. If I can get them all into shot all at once, I will. But at the moment that's proving difficult because I have got them running on opposite sides of the track. But how long that will last is another thing. So we've seen these two recently doing their stuff. Right, we're going to have to slow down the DMU because that's catching up class 24. I've just got to find it now before we have the accident of accidents. There we go, slowed it down. So we'll let the class 24 make up some room. Well, we can see 3 running, although technically the DMU shouldn't be that close. I'll slow her down a bit more. We've also got the warship coming round. That's on a parcels train. There she goes. Let's follow her for a little while. Now that I'm happy that the DMU is not catching up the class 24 on the freight. So I'm a little bit unpracticed. Well, in fact, not practiced at all on this layout with 4 going at once. DMU is now obviously on a signal to say be prepared to stop. There's the class 24, so that is getting ahead of the game now. Swap you over here. Class 33, bubble car. I'll just sweep you back around here now. I can just speed the bubble car up a little bit. Sorry if it's a bit jaggedy, I'm trying to do the controller as well at the same time. Trying to do it all in one shot. Perhaps I should have mounted it on the tripod. That was a class 24, so we've got a nice gap now between the two. Just looking for the warship. There she is. Another good runner, this one. Good puller. And through Exehaven Harbour junction there. I'm filming this just having a little break from building the overall canopy for Exehaven Harbour Station. I'm just waiting for one of the glass roof sections to dry before I move on. Haven't quite got enough clamps to do two sections of it at once. Still not being able to give you 4 trays at once. I'm working on it. You can hear that banging in the background. That's the acorns falling off the oak tree onto the roof of the cabin. Well, I'm going to give the warship a little bit more speed because the Class 33 is catching it up. Nearly. We had just about 3 into that shot, and I think the 4th one just went out of shot. Here we go, look, there's 3 at once now, look at that. still got this lump to work on here, but I will do that at some point. Just going to cut a little bit off of one of the bridge piers, and I think that should solve that problem. I just haven't got round to doing it, what with everything else that's going on. Well, the train seems to run nicely over it. I know it doesn't look that realistic, but I'm living with it for now while the trains are running well. Well, I'm not sure we're going to manage all four in one shot. I think in some ways that's good, because we know they're not really gaining on each other. I think if I could get all four in shot, I think we might be close to being in trouble. I do try and give you an overall view of the layout, especially while it's kind of in this state. Once we start getting scenic and that, we can get some lovely little shots of different areas. I think the bridge area is going to be something really lovely if I can pull that off. But for now, and I know a lot of you like to see as much of the layout as you can. I do when you see some of these beautiful layouts being filmed and you only see certain shots, and I'd like to have a good sort of pullback view where you can see the whole thing, so it gives you an idea of the actual track plan and so on. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, and with the running session this time, with at least 3 trains running in this shot. Look at that. And I'll see you in the next segment. So this is kind of how far I've got at the moment with the canopy. This glass section of roof is now glued in. I've got another 2 pieces done. They're waiting to go on, and this last piece is to have the plastic glazing glued in. Now, it may seem quite simple, but it does take a fair bit to actually get that glued on there, and trying to do small dabs so that you don't get too much glue marks. Now I can't get away with it without getting any, because when you push them together the glue naturally spreads. I've tried a couple of different ways which didn't work. I tried brushing it, but the glue dried, before I finished it, and I just couldn't keep up with it. The best way I've found is just using little dobs of PVA, and just going across the lot. The reason you need to do, or I found anyway, that you need to glue this perspex onto there with so much, if you like, of little dobs, is because on the first one I done it where I just done little sections, and it kind of come apart. So it does need it to keep it on. I'm hoping, well, say I'm hoping, I mean, it doesn't look awful. If I hold that up, that does look a bit awful actually. But there is nothing I can do about it. What's this one like? Yeah. So what I intend to do is get some weathering powder in there, and you know, because that will be a slightly grimy roof over a period of time with all the fumes and stuff going up. So that's how I'm going to get around that. I might be able to actually pick some of the glue off of there, but it has been virtually impossible. I've tried really hard, but that's what it is. What it is at the end of the day. I admire you if you can do that, but believe me, the plastic glazing just won't stick, and when you make the curve of the roof, it just comes apart. So it needs a bit. Again, being engaged, it doesn't really notice it's quite small. So anyway, I'm going to get on with this bit now, and I'm going to come back to you just to have a little chat at the end, and we'll wrap this one up because it's got quite long actually without me even realising. So I'll be back to you in a second. Okay, so been a while since I've done a little piece to camera. But thanks, I just wanted to say thanks to all of you for all the encouragement and support you've given me over the station. I was really pleased how that's turned out. The station canopy, as you've seen, is coming on quite well. So I'm pleased with that. Very fiddly kit, as I've mentioned. Just want to talk briefly about Getz. I'm hoping to go to the Great Electric Train Show, but I need a couple of things to fall into place first. Before I commit to buying the ticket. I know that a few of you are going, and I'd love to see you. It's just that it falls a week before I go away on a golfing trip, and it depends on what Mrs. Exehaven needs that Saturday really. I can never make the Sundays, mainly because of family commitments and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping to get there. Fingers crossed I can. I really enjoyed the one that I've been to. I've met loads of you, and it was brilliant. And I do have some birthday money in my back pocket, so we'll see about that. But in the meantime, thanks very much. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I mean, it is free. I mean, you don't have to subscribe, of course, but it does help the channel, I guess. I haven't monetized the channel or anything like that. I keep it very simple and very straightforward. It's kind of a bit amateurish compared with a lot of you out there. I just do this on my phone, and it's just sort of documenting how I do things from being a basic beginner when I first started out. I mean, obviously I've got some experience now, and it is what it is. As you go on, it's like anything in life, you gain much more experience as you do it. As for the filming and things, it's it's kind of a bit of fun for me to do it. I hadn't expected to be doing this kind of thing when I started building the model railway, but I actually do quite enjoy it. It's great fun. So thanks again, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers now.